Here's how to have a cheat day like The Rock if you've got the Indian body type. Now, The Rock has been famous for some epic cheat days, whether it's the pancakes that are stacked up high or some outrageous different food sources. And then combined with that, just being this big, jacked human being that is larger than life, and that is most people, guys, envious of his stature and how he presents himself. And he was popular for presenting these cheat days, and a lot of people then followed suit with having cheat days, but got very different results. And I speak to clients all of the time and people that have worked with us in the past, and they started gaining weight, especially when they were having these cheat days, because they weren't doing them properly. And it's something to really consider if you've got the Indian body type as opposed to anything else, because there are some specifics that you need to understand. Now let's break this down mathematically. And I'll do this on my phone as we go through, and I'm sure that it will come up on the screen somewhere. So if The Rock is 100 kilos, that means that his calories that he burns just randomly on a day-to-day basis and that he needs to stay at the same level will be at least 3,000 calories. That's not including how much he's training and cardioing and exercising. It could be way more than that. However, if you're 60 kilos or even 80 kilos and you don't really move very much, the max that you could probably eat on a day-to-day basis is 2,200, 2,400 calories. So he's already got a big gap in terms of how much muscle tissue he has, how many calories he burns, because he's more consistent with his training. He trains all of the time, even on set of movies, and goes out of his way to get his training in. Just an absolute beast. Whereas you might get that in 2 or 3 times a week, 4 times at a push, and maybe hit your 10K steps if you're lucky. There's a golfing class of A, how many calories he burns because he has a lot more muscle tissue. And at the same time is then he burns a lot more calories from the amount of exercise he does training every single day. Now, what's to consider this with the Indian body type is that from our perspective, there is a different side to this. He has a large amount of muscle tissue, which he's gained over a long time, and probably some anabolic steroids, allegedly. And then from our side, with our clients that we work with, Indian, South Asian, who have only got into resistance training and eating protein in their mid-20s or even into their 30s, which is 10 to 20 years before even The Rock started training. I think he started training at 12 to 14, which means that he's had 20 years of building muscle on top of where you're at right now. So he has 20 extra kilos of being able to burn. He's got 20 extra years of how much body mass he's built to be able to then burn that in calories. So he has a significant advantage in terms of how many calories he burns versus you do based on his stature, his muscle tissue, and how much he exercises. But I'm sure you already know that and probably understand that he's a big human who needs a lot of calories to burn. He probably goes to the gym quite a lot. But then how do you have a cheat day? I'm not going to caveat this by saying that you should do this on a week-to-week basis. I think one, it ends up being something that I've used in the past and it's gone terribly wrong. 2 is that I think it should be done in very sparse situations. And 3 is that it doesn't create a great relationship with food, having one day, lots and lots of food, and 6 days where you don't have very little food, especially when you don't move as much as The Rock. When The Rock gets to eat 3,000 to 4,000 calories anyway on a day-to-day basis, then he has a day where he's eating 10,000. There isn't that much difference. Whereas for someone like yourself, and when you do the numbers, you'll realize that you're more than likely going to have to get close to 1,000 calories to be able to have a cheat day at the end of the week without gaining fat the week after, which isn't worth it. But if you want to know, I'm here to give the information, and if you want to try it and get fatter, or you want to try it and make it work, so be it. So here's how you work out how to have a cheat day. Firstly, when you have the cheat day, you have to understand the calories and the specifics that you're eating. It's not enough to just go to a local restaurant and guess the calories. You have to be specific, because if you're working out the week beforehand what to eat and then maybe the week after, you're going to have to know exactly how much you're eating and not take the piss. It requires accuracy even in indulgence. So let's say, for example, Amit, you're 80 kilos and that is on a day-to-day basis and you wanted to burn fat this week. That would mean that you'd have to eat 1,700 calories on a day-to-day basis for 7 days a week. Now that means that you're eating 12,370 calories to lose weight. So let's say, for example, if you wanted to lose weight in the same week that you wanted to have a cheat meal, that means that the 12,320 calories have to be spread across the week as well as having that high day. Which means already you're probably realizing that you're probably not going to be eating 10,000 calories in a day if you're 80 kilos and you only move a little bit. Here's how I would do it. You have 12,320 calories. At least give yourself 1,500 calories at least 6 days a week, because you're going to die in terms of your ability to eat. You're going to be hungry. You're going to have low energy. You're going to have low mood, and you're probably going to cheat on your diet, which is then not the whole point of this whole thing, is to have a nice day on a cheat day and then have 6 days where you're actually consistent. So if you're looking at that, that's 9,000 calories, 1,500 calories for 6 days. Now you minus that off the amount that you're supposed to have, and you're left with 3,320 calories. So if you want a cheat day like The Rock, you're going to have less calories, but you could have it with with 3,230 calories. If the 6 days was accurate, you did all your activity, and then you had 3,320 calories on one particular day, you would still lose weight in that particular week. And that's how you have a cheat meal the right way. And all this information is also in our fat loss guide that we also have. So if you want to understand the exact Indian, South Asian specifics that go into fat loss that you might not be aware of, the do's and the don'ts of what to do, just comment the word guide below and we'll send you over that do's and don'ts guide that'll help you understand fat loss as an Indian or a South Asian person that wanting to get amazing shape.